Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks, Niall, and everybody on the admin team there for getting me connected. Thanks, Sinead. We can see and hear you. That's the important thing. So, good afternoon, everybody who's joining us this afternoon, thinking about coming to the DCU Institute of Education for Postgraduate Studies. First of all, congratulations on even thinking about coming to us. Because the Institute of Education here at Dublin City University is Ireland's only full faculty of education. And why is that important for somebody who's thinking about postgraduate studies? Well, the first thing I'd want to say is that it's important because it tells you that Dublin City University takes the discipline of education and education as an area of study and research, it takes it seriously. It takes it seriously enough to make education the fifth faculty of the university. And that's extremely important. If you look around other Irish universities, there are schools of education or colleges of education within faculties. But the faculty the Faculty of Education at DCU is also its second largest faculty. And we're here on the St. Patrick's campus in Drumcondra. And as a postgraduate student, you would be joining a community of almost 4,000 students from across the world who are either in undergraduate studies preparing to be an early childhood educator or a teacher, or in postgraduate studies developing their leadership skills or their research skills, or in research studies as Ed.D. students or PhD students, or as professional learners just kind of improving their professional knowledge of the system. You'll be joining almost 4,500 students from around the world and a really enthusiastic and committed staff. Education is what we do here at the Institute of Education, and we do it well. How do we know we do it well? We're only 5 years old, which is relatively new in university standards. We're still really only a toddler in the great scheme of things. But we're just about at the ranked, I think, 101st in the world for education. That's unprecedented in the QS rankings for a brand new faculty to rank so highly. And one of the reasons we rank highly is that we're brand new, but the institutions that form the Institute of Education have been working in education for more than 150 years, and because of our staff. So let me tell you something about the staff we have that you would be working with in postgraduate studies. Later on today, you'll be meeting Tom Grenham and Catherine Furlong, and you'll be meeting Neil Kenny and Aoife Brennan. So they all are programme chairs in specific programmes. But what's interesting about them, about Tom, about Neil, Catherine and Aoife, is they're not just programme chairs. They are recognisable names in their field. So if you ask somebody in teacher education, about the leading thinkers in teacher education in Ireland and indeed contributing across the world, you'd hear the name of Catherine Furlong mentioned. If you ask somebody who's pushing out the field of chaplaincy education, you'll hear Tom Grenham mentioned. And if you ask in the area of special and inclusive ed, you've got in special and inclusive education, you have Aoife Brennan and Neil Kenny recognised across Ireland as leaders in the field, and Neil especially in the new and emerging field of autism education. So our staff in the postgraduate space, and that's just for today, but our staff are leaders in their field. They're the writers, the researchers, the advocates, the policy makers. Many of them are actively involved with the policy agencies in shaping the policies that in turn shape your system. So in that sense, they're people who combine theory and practice. And that's another big feature of our postgraduate studies. It gives you an opportunity as a practitioner to bring that practice into a group with others and to analyse it and reflect on it in the company of other practitioners, but also with the skills of course leaders who are at the cutting edge of research and development in their expert fields. So as an institute, we believe we're groundbreaking, and we believe we have an incredibly engaged, committed and enthusiastic staff. And you'll see some of them this afternoon. And I understand there may be others around in the sessions tomorrow. So there are two reasons why I think your postgraduate study at the Institute of Education is a good choice. We're flexible, so quite a lot of our part-time postgraduate programs offer a blended mode of delivery, which is a combination of being on campus and having that face-to-face experience, which we value. But as you can see, we're also set up for good quality online teaching. And again, the people in DCU who support online engagement and education, they're the people who advised government on the pivot online for schools and education. We help support and train teachers to get ready for online learning. We provided right through COVID, it was our teams who provided support on things like Facebook Live for parents, for teachers, and we try to turn our skills into supports for schools and teachers right through COVID. So we're well supported in digital learning. Our infrastructure is very good, and I think we do it really well. So if you are coming to join us, we promise you won't have endless Zooms of just talking heads like this one. We use a lot of interactive tools. We use a lot of tools that allow you as a participant to engage with us. And then we complement that with being in the room. If you're in the Zoom and you want it to work well, you need to be in the room face to face. So we do that combination. We have really fantastic library facilities, which is really important if you are about to embark on postgraduate studies. Our library is the largest collection of education materials in Ireland and one of the largest in Europe. So it includes access to all the current journals, access to the latest editions of some of the classic texts in education, but they're all here, and we have specialist librarians to help you find your way around. Shona, I'm getting a message that says nothing is happening for you on the stream, and it is starting, so maybe some of the admin could help Shona there. Okay, Paul, you're on it. Thanks for that. So the people, the institute, the facilities. Can I say something about the student body? So I know today we're joined by a lot of people who may be thinking about postgraduate studies who work in the Irish education system. The great thing about our postgraduate studies is that we serve the Irish education system, but we also look well beyond it. So this Friday, for example, we will be graduating postgraduate students who are working in Northern Ireland, in Saudi Arabia, in the United Arab Emirates, in English-speaking systems across Europe, and in South America. And they've all come together to work at the Institute. We're an increasingly global student body and an increasingly global staff body. So our staff, lots of our staff, like myself, have been teachers in the Irish education system at one stage, or principals, or deputy principals in primary or post-primary schools, or in further education colleges. But we also have colleagues who have worked in school systems across the world and in universities across the world. And so that staff and student international focus, I think, also brings added richness to the programmes. And we're particularly supportive of Irish teachers coming to do postgraduate studies with us who are teaching overseas, particularly in the Middle East. And we've certainly got a couple of postgraduate students in the MEd space who are currently working in the Middle East, and Catherine Furlong will talk to you more about later on about how that works and how we try and meet your needs in that context. So we're in DCU, we have an expert staff, we have great facilities, and we have a global perspective. We have a good track record of success. We know what it is like to study part-time. I'm a person who did my master's degree part-time, and I also added on my doctoral studies part-time while working. So we know how to support students who, for the vast majority of whom are part-time, and many of whom have demanding jobs and complicated lives that add extra pressure when you're studying part-time. So we know what it takes to study part-time, and we know the kinds of support that people need to enable them to succeed. So, on Friday, I think we have almost 20 doctoral students on Friday who are graduating from our programs, all of whom who worked full time while studying part time. So we do think that we're able to support students who are working part time, and I think we have a strong track record of success in that context. Thanks to the admin team who are supporting people who can't see and hear. I know some people can, and I'm sorry, Durga, that you can't hear me. But I know that the people coming after me, I know Tom is next on chaplaincy, will probably make the same points that I've made, which is it's a great place to study. We know how to support students who are working full-time and studying part-time. DCU is a place where education is taken seriously. We have a great track record of supporting postgraduate students. The team of people working with postgraduate students are the world leaders in their field, and the students come from across the world, and that brings an added richness to our postgraduate programs. Look, listen further to the program chairs talking this afternoon, and I hope that some of you will be joining us next semester. I look forward to seeing you then. Thank you, everybody, and enjoy the rest of your afternoon with the DCU Institute of Education.